Hi, today I wanted to talk about something that happens to many people who are chronically ill, and this is basically flare-ups of the pain. I'm in one right now myself. I I would say that at the end of February and the almost entire March was a lot better. And I would say I had a better period for like 6 weeks, 5, 6 weeks, and I was able to do a lot and so on. And a few days ago, I started this whole horrible flare up. It comes with like deep aching pain that feels like the flu, and right now I'm not feeling it. Right now I'm feeling some other symptom, but my legs, when it starts, like my legs are one sign of how bad a flare is, because normally for example, during the 5 or 6 weeks, I had very few symptoms in my legs. Sometimes I would get some pain. Sometimes it was even a bit worse, but it wasn't that bad. And today it's been today, and it was actually it started like a week ago. I remember suddenly getting a flare up in my legs where it felt like my feet were spasming, my calves were spasming. There was this like deep aching in my knees, behind my knees, in my calves, in my thighs. And I was like that for 2 hours, and then it went away. But I was like, oh my god, what the heck? And sometimes I get randomly some bad flare for a few hours, and then it goes away, and I don't have the same symptoms for days or weeks. But unfortunately, 2 days later, I was walking with my daughter, and suddenly I felt this pain in my thighs, like like the flu. I don't know, like I'm not sure if the pain comes from cramping, or if it's nerve pain combined with cramping. I have no idea what's the correlation between the symptoms, because there is some cramping for sure, but there's also this deep aching flu-like pain. Oh, I hate it. Yeah, and I don't know why I'm in a flare, and it happens to many of us, especially flux people. We get flare-ups from nothing. Like, the last time I got a lot worse was when I had the stomach virus. But this time I wasn't sick. I didn't eat anything new. I didn't do anything new. Oh, actually, I did something new, but I don't know if it's that, because I wanted to help my mitochondria, and I started red light therapy, but it was like, I don't know, every 2 days, a few minutes, and that was it. And it's ridiculous, but a few days later this flare began, and I'm not sure if it was coincidental, or if actually the energy in my mitochondria are doing so bad. I have no idea. Like, honestly, it's like guessing, and I'm not sure if everybody always knows their triggers, but for me sometimes there is a clear trigger, but that usually comes with like really getting a lot worse. But then I sometimes get flare-ups from honestly nothing, like this time. And yeah, the pain, it's awful. Honestly, it feels like my legs are being crushed and squeezed and aching. And the same feeling happens in my arms. It will happen also in my upper back, and the cramps in my abdomen are worse as well when it happens. Oh, I have absolutely no idea why right now. To be honest, I never associated with my level of activity, because sometimes I get more active and I improve and my baseline gets better and everything, and it's like that for weeks, and then suddenly I get worse, out of the blue. And every time as such a flare hits, I'm so scared, because I don't know if it's going to improve soon, or if it's a flare up that will last like a week, or if it's a bad flare up that will last many weeks. And yeah, it's been difficult the last few days. I mean, it's always difficult. Sorry. I mean, I'm sorry for not being positive, but this is just basically my life. But yeah, when it gets a lot worse, it's like I'm scared, because it feels like, somebody blinds you and, tells you have to ride your bike. And it's honestly like you have no idea what to do with yourself. Um I've also seen my neurologist, and I'm going to see him again. soon, and we'll see what will come out of that. But to be honest, I've decided that I don't want any medications. And I know they might make me worse, and of course, doctors always downplay it. Like, they will tell you, no, no, it's not possible. I know my body, and I know what can happen. And I know how bad it can get. Like, when I'm hanging, by a thread, and something just throws me off again and makes me a lot worse. I don't want that. I have a kid, and there is no way I'm risking some medications. And also, I did try medications in the past, and it backfired. It always backfires for me somehow. Yeah. To be honest, I sometimes wish I had an official fluoroquinolone toxicity diagnosis, because I mean, I'm not treated seriously. Like, when I go to a neurologist, they never even take Cipro into account when I tell them how all started. This is absolutely ridiculous. I was never sick. Before Cipro, I was a normal person, never having any of the pains I get now. Any of them. I was a healthy person. I did have a few health issues, but they were not related, and they weren't neurological at all. I never had any neurological issues, and right now, it's ridiculous, because you go to the doctor with something really unusual, and if they have no other explanation, they will play it safe for them, of course, and they will tell you it's psychosomatic or something, or you have depression or anxiety, or maybe you should seek psychiatric help. And this is ridiculous, because there are so many things we don't know about the human body, so many things we don't know about medications. And you can see people having reactions, and they when they try to report, the side effects or some weird things that started happening to them, yeah, they are always told it's something psychosomatic, or you're stressed, you should lead a less stressful life. And oh god, really, it enrages me. Like, oh my, when I think about the life I had before I got floxed, and how ignorant and oblivious of all that crap I was. I mean, I simply wasn't aware of it. Like, it wasn't like I knew medication injury existed. I learned it firsthand, and my family and friends, they have learned it from me. Like, many of my friends use my experience, but many people still don't. Like, they know about my story, but they still end up taking or giving somebody, fluoroquinolone antibiotics when they aren't really needed, like, still against the guidelines. And people are just playing Russian roulette with fluoroquinolones. I just hope this flare will calm down. It's just a temporary worsening. I'm not sure how long it's going to last. It scares me so bad, because honestly, it's so painful. It makes me want to just, curl into a ball and wait it out. But, I don't know how long it will last. And, I actually take notes of my symptoms, and really the level of pain I'm in right now. The last time I was in such pain was in February, a few times, but it was more common for me in January. And we have April, so yeah, I just hope that the baseline will come back. The 6 week, 5 or 6 week baseline will come back, because it's really unbearable. Like, every time I move, my muscles ache and hurt and squeeze, and I don't get that on a daily basis. This is something I've been getting now. And the pain when it's my daily symptoms, with this are more like, I get a lot of like electricity, heat, electrocution, a lot of weird things. And I also get a lot of body tension, but it comes from this dystonia, but it's not that painful usually. It's usually, a tight feeling. Like, my abdomen, for example, will squeeze, and I feel like I'm being squeezed, but it's not painful. But when it hits my legs, it gets really, really painful. It's this like deep, dull, flu-like aching, and sometimes even burning. And it feels like honestly, it feels like you want to amputate your own legs. It's terrible. And it feels like when you move, it feels like you walk in slow motion, because everything hurts so bad. And yeah, this is just just a horrible, horrible symptom. But from my history, I know that I usually get flares of this, and then it somehow calms down out of the blue. And honestly, I have no idea why. I really wish I knew what was wrong with me with all of this. If it's actually mitochondrial issues, I have no idea how to test for it. They don't do that here, and my doctor, I don't think he even wants to hear about the mitochondrial stuff. And also, I have no idea if the red light therapy, uh, harmed me now, or if it was just coincidental and I should try it again. I have absolutely no idea what to do. Not doing anything seems to be the best solution, but sometimes I feel like maybe there is something I could do to improve my condition, and that wouldn't be too risky, because I'm not going to take supplements that I know that won't work. Like, oh, it's ridiculous how many people can jump with, oh, take B12, take magnesium, take this, take that, and I cannot tolerate those. I mean, the last time I tried to take them, I couldn't, and I had huge flare-ups, and it's just not possible for me. And also, like, when I still could tolerate all those supplements, they were all useless for me, because honestly they didn't do a thing. And yeah, in my opinion, with getting floxed, what matters honestly is how badly you were injured. It's like, some people will say, yeah, this and that helped me. I started supplementing right away, and within a year I feel like I'm 90% recovered or something. In my opinion, it's not like that. It's not that easy. Like, I did all those things too. I found out I was floxed right away. I did all the supplementation, and I still got a lot worse. Like I became a horror story. And I even, like, I have symptoms that nobody else has. Some of my symptoms are like that. And it's, yeah, I mean, I don't like taking advice from people who weren't that severely affected and they improved. They will, try to jump in with, oh, take this, take that. And for me, it's a no-go. And I feel like I'm just harmed more somehow. I don't know what the damage is exactly, but yes, it's definitely something serious. Okay, so if you're here because you've also been harmed by medications, I hope you improve, and I hope you're having a better time than me right now. And thank you for listening. Bye.